Hey there guys, this is Sarah. I just wanted to touch bases with you and give you 5 tips for how to deal with distracted employees over the holidays. All week long I've been getting questions about this. With Christmas being just a week away, I figured this might be a good time to share these. So, tip number 1, survey your employees. If you're detecting burnout, if you cannot seem to get them to focus, actually do a survey of them, just like you would with your target audience, right? Like I teach in the marketing workshops. Ask them questions around what would motivate them, what excites them to actually finish off the year with a bang. Because without understanding what's going on inside their heads, we're kind of have a really hard time getting them back on track, right? So actually do a physical survey of them. They can fill it out anonymously, which sometimes gets you more honest results, but just go ahead and put it on their desk and ask them to fill it out and get it back to you by the end of the day. Tip number 2, create traditions in your practice around your core values. If you're not familiar with what your core values are, if you can't name them off the top of your head, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting your team to focus when times get rough, right? Or when things are flying everywhere and we've got distraction going on like the holiday season. So what you want to do is actually do a brainstorming session with your team and get them to really nail what are your core values. This is actually a great thing to do at your end of the year staff meeting, because believe it or not, we want to make sure we're setting up the new year with those core values in mind. Core values do a lot of things for you. They're basically the underlying beliefs behind your policies and the procedures that you have. So if you don't have those, what you're missing is basically a way to do a gut check when you write a policy, or look at an opportunity for your practice and go, is this the right direction? Is this the direction we want to go in terms of the practice itself? Or even when you're correcting staff, right? If you go, is this really how I want to be treating my staff? You've got to have those core values mapped out. So that's a really good exercise, which will get them all back on the same page if they're distracted right now, and help you set up 2021 the right way. My third tip is go into your Silken job description manual and pull out the page that says job duties of a staff member. It's in the general staff section, and I highly recommend anytime you're dealing with distracted employees, they can't seem to focus, they're getting too chatty, or the holidays are just, taking over your practice, I really recommend that you have a staff huddle in the morning, or at your next staff meeting, read out those job duties of a staff member, particularly points 1 through 3 and point number 5. Go read them right now and you'll see what I mean. All right, tip number 4 is the basic difference between an actual team, right, and a bunch of employees who just happen to clock in and clock out at the same location every day. The basic difference between these two things is a team has a common purpose. So we've got to talk about the purpose of your practice. And I would say you want to be reiterating this at least once a week, like at the bare minimum, okay? And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're a veterinarian. The purpose of your practice is not just to make money. The purpose of your practice is to save lives, right? It is, look at how important our companion animals have been to our mental health and our ability to cope with 2020, right? You guys are seeing this every day. And that is the purpose of your practice, right? It's to provide that service to your clients, and it's to care for these animals. So be reiterating that purpose. Every time an employee makes an error, right, or someone's doing something that they're not supposed to be, you find them being too chatty, you're finding them being distracted, they're on social media, they're watching a video and they should be answering the phones, any of that stuff going on in your practice, instead of coming down on them hard, just keep pushing purpose, and you will find they rise to the occasion, all right? That's a really key one. And tip number 5 for dealing with distractions this holidays is lead by example. You can't ask someone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself as an executive. It just doesn't work. You're going to destroy your ability to get compliance, right? So if you want them to be on time, be on time. If you want them to dress neatly, right? If you want them to not be chatty and watching television when they should be actually working, make sure you're not doing those things yourself in front of them, because that's going to make a big difference as well. All right, so there you go. Those are my 5 tips to help you guys focus. Let's really make 2020 end off the right way so we can start 2021 really rocking, okay? Good luck and happy holidays.